This is the Aftermarket Radio Network.
Hey, Carm, back at AAPEX 2024 on the floor right next to Joe's Garage. Thank you so much, AAPEX, for this really cool studio this year. We've so enjoyed it. And because it's so big and it's such a magnet, I was able to get John Hanighen in here. Yay, John! CEO and president of Cloyes. If you've ever done any engine work, you've touched one of his products.
Thank you, Carm.
I'm sure of it.
You're right.
Plans are already underway for AAPEX 2025, November 4th through the 6th in Las Vegas. It is the can't-miss expo and training venue that is for all who earn their living in the automotive service aftermarket. Hey, for over 30 years, NAPA Trax has made selecting the right shop management system easy by offering the best, most comprehensive SMS in the industry. We'll prove to you that Trax is the single best shop management system in the business. Find NAPA Trax on the web at NAPATRACS.com. Also, thanks to AftermarketManagementNetwork.com for information that can help you move your business ahead, and for the free and informative LaborRateTracker.com. John and I have known each other for a long time in the industry. You've been on 2 previous podcasts.
Yes, sir.
I've looked them up. Today's Auto Parts, Quality and Supply Chain Complexities, that was one. Mm-hmm. And the other one was supply chain, getting parts to the aftermarket during the pandemic, part 2, because there's so many people. And I said, well, a person that I would love to talk to, and I can't remember if it was you during one of these episodes, says, well, yeah, well, if we got to put some parts on a damn airplane and ship them over wherever we got to ship them and move them around the country, we're going to have to do that someday. I think it was you maybe who said that.
We do air shipments, all the time to make sure it happens. That's right.
You're on the board of ASC, Board of Governors. You're involved in auto care. Mm-hmm. I mean, you're a busy CEO. You just bought some new companies.
Rotomaster, ATI,
Wow. Where do you find the energy to be a CEO of one of our most well-known brands?
All of it comes down to how good a team you have, so that frees you up to be able to do what you really want to do and really impact the industry. I'm still an ASC G1 certified technician. I just, my renewal for credentials comes up next year. I'll renew them then. And so I never forgot my roots. And when you think about what you can do when you leave the industry someday, because we can't live forever, right? But I love this industry. I grew up in it. You can't forget your roots. And that comes into such a critical piece with Cloyes and Rotomaster, because I think I drive my team crazy sometimes, but what's the installer going to think about this? What's the technician going to do when he takes a look at the repair?
Yeah.
The timing repair is 4 to 13 hours. We got to do it right the first time. And they got to have any kind of support we can give them to make sure the job's done right the first time.
John, are you the big champion inside of Cloyes for the service professional? Do you care about what's going down at the bays?
Carm, very good question. Very much so. We've got a video series we go on. It's on YouTube. We've had over 9 million views, almost 10 million views on 46 videos. And Cody Smith does the videos. He's kind of like an influencer for us.
Cool. Good.
And so he's the connection directly to the technician, but I may be behind the scenes making sure he's got the materials to do that.
Nice.
Look at each of the videos. Big champion with an ASC and how much the education is important to it from the manufacturer standpoint to support it.
Where do you come up with all your ideas? Are you a perpetual thinker on that?
I don't know. I've always thought about who's putting your part on in the first place.
Yeah. I love what you said about you just got a great team. I mean, we're discussing a lot lately in the industry at the shop owner level and on the podcast. We need to stop calling the service professional owner a shop owner. He needs to be a business person. He owns a business. Sure. We have to get that word business. And we have to explain that their role as a business person, no matter if it's a bakery shop or an automotive repair, professional automotive repair facility, is that you're the CEO. You're in charge. You're in charge of leadership and vision and mission and all the things that make your relationship with that client work, transparency, responsibility, but the team you build. And so I just recently interviewed Eric Sills, and by the way, thank you for connecting me to Eric. And I encourage you all to listen to Eric's interview. Like Eric, who's the CEO of Standard, and John, who's the CEO of Cloyes, they're bringing to our listener this whole idea of team and leadership. You couldn't have these multi-million, billion-dollar companies if it wasn't for your team and what you allow them to do. And you got any leadership advice for our listener?
Bring people on board that are smarter than you, first of all.
Yes. Oh, my God. See, thank you. You broke a major code. I'm the only one. I can only do it better. I'm going to micromanage the world. I know. And John, if you're not watching through video, he's shaking his head. No.
No, because I learned early on in life, God taught me that I have 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. You listen twice as much as you speak.
Yeah.
And you listen to really smart team members. You let them take prudent risk, which means when they fall down, you're going to pick them up and dust them off, as long as they told you ahead of time what they wanted to do and you're in this together. And they grow. And you have to support them to be able to grow as leaders in your company.
Yeah.
And your company grows and changes. We talked about that earlier.
Yeah.
Cloyes is several times larger than when I first came on board. And do you plan in the future for the people that can get you to that point? Do you have the boxes of responsibility in place? Much like a service person who owns a shop, where do you want to go? And what services do you want to offer? Do you have the right professionals installed in place to be able to do that? Are you planning out your business plan? Much like it's no different. It just means it's a different business.
John, I'm curious, EVs, what kind of products is Cloyes going to have for that?
Great question. We do very well with hybrids, by the way, which is big now.
Sure.
There's a company I've put an indication of interest in that's overseas, and what I'm trying to get into now is we diversify into. We call it an agnostic platform, Carm.
Oh, interesting.
And the third part of the agnostic platform is EV, and be able to service EVs. What goes out on EVs? Suspension, struts, those type of products we'd look to bring sometime into the assortment of Cloyes as we go forward. We're owned by private equity, and we've made a couple of acquisitions mentioned earlier. Rotomaster with turbochargers, which has a huge runway in front of it. And then in the case of ATI, it was a tensioner and belt provider, and it's a kit. And I had a 6-year relationship with the owner, and we had a commercial relationship, and we just got together and said, what if you traded, what if we own the company? Because you take the accessory belt off, take the pulley off when you change the timing out. So it made sense to put all of it together.
So I keep hearing the word over and over in my head, diversify. And that's what you're doing.
Diversify to a different platform to be able to service these type of customers. We stay close to the core, Carm, everything around that front end of the engine.
Okay.
Now it's a matter of diversifying, to your point, to be able to serve all platforms.
Talk to me about your involvement, University of the Aftermarket, Auto Care, scholarships, education. What are you doing?
We give several $1,000s to the University of Aftermarket Scholarship Fund. I was blown away. I went to Mort Schwartz' 90th birthday on Saturday.
By the way, I got to stop you. I want you to get back at that, but I know Mort. I won the Mort Schwartz Excellence in Education Award way back, long time ago.
Good for you.
2017. It was 2 years after I started. Interviewed Mort, got to know his son, Rick, and their great company. And I did see Mort on his 90 years old.
He turned 90 Saturday.
I know. And just to see him and shake his hand and have some pictures with him was very emotional for me.
You know what makes him such an icon, Carm? So Rick wanted to celebrate his birthday. And we said, can we do something in Las Vegas? Because this is where the world is. He said, no, I just want to do something home with the family and grandkids. And Rick kind of pushed him and said, no, let's do something in Vegas. And to his point, he said, and then Mort said, I don't want to go to Vegas. He goes, no, wait a minute. Rick said, so then he said, I'll do it. Mort said, I'll do it if you tie it to the scholarship foundation. Rick and I and several others decided to start doing a campaign. Come see Mort, but you got to contribute to scholarship fund.
Right.
Yeah. Well, Saturday we celebrated, and they've collected, the people collected companies, my company, individuals. We donated over $550,000 to the scholarship fund to get for Mort's birthday. He was blown away by that.
I imagine.
Now, the other thing that blew me away as well, Mort started out with the scholarship fund looking at applications on his kitchen table on Saturdays. And then Pete Kornoff, another legend.
Sure, and I saw him here.
You saw Pete. He started to kind of, if you anything, look at electronic versions, try to automate it on, because he got tired of Mort trying to work on Saturdays. In that time frame, 20 years, they've given out 7,000 scholarships for $9 million. If you're looking to get into the education, continuing education in the aftermarket, whether it's the technician side or whether it's a business side, which is really important, go to US website, apply for a scholarship. It's there for the next future. So I'm almost on a little bit of a campaign as I think about what can we do going forward to build the industry. It's a great place to start.
There is so much. I just heard, the women in auto care.
Oh, yeah, that's huge group.
All kinds of money in scholarships. I think they mostly go to women.
They do there, yeah, that's right.
Which is brilliant.
Which is
smart. It's great. And you think about what's going on with the University of the Aftermarket, and you think of all these other incredible supply line companies and manufacturers that are getting behind this. And here's what I keep thinking about. And even I'm on the board of our community college, Automotive Tech, and all these grants that are available out there. All you have to do is to be smart, to know where they are, have the energy to want to apply.
Right.
The point is that there is money for further education, for immediate education. I want to go out and do this.
Right.
And maybe we've got all this money in these coffers somewhere. Maybe we need to market it harder. I don't know.
Tell people about it and get more of it. Because I thought when I saw the money, I didn't know that they'd raise that much. And I talked to the UF, get this word out more on the website or whatever's available, but we're not communicating it. Now, one thing we did, and you mentioned on the board of ASC, Dave Johnson, the new CEO.
Oh, yeah.
He and I work together at Ford Motor Company. Terrific guy. I'm on the board of MEMA as well. And MEMA and ASC were kind of like separate. MEMA's 1,000, if you can, suppliers.
Yeah.
And then ASC's all these installers and technicians and shop owners and all these business folks. And now we've connected them together on the MEMA. MEMA's launching a training portal.
Yep.
And it has ASC content, Cloyes content, standard motor products content, all on a central portal basis.
Yep.
So just launched it.
I know. And we did an episode with Paul and Chris Gardner.
Paul and Chris.
In a portion of that episode that we did talk about this new training portal of theirs. I love it. It's central repository for the suppliers training. Where can I go? What can I get? Is it leader-led? Is it virtual? And it's all going to be there. So I love the commitment that MEMA has made.
Connecting the dots.
Yeah.
It used to be so isolated, and it's not. It needs to come together so it can be marketed.
AAPEX 2024, one of the best industry training and expo events, is now in the record books. Joe's Garage at AAPEX brought the best and the brightest together to create an interactive experience like no other. The concentration on emerging technology was cutting edge, along with the latest in tools and equipment that bring efficiencies to your shop, which is another reason to attend AAPEX. There were more than 60 training sessions for technical, business management, and HR. You participated in the EV experience stage at Joe's Garage along with ADAS technology. If you did not attend, I bet you wished you had. AAPEX created specialty sections to make it super easy to find your area of interest, like the tire service section, tools and equipment, the diagnostics telematics shop, and of course the EV experience. New in 2024 was the student competition on an engine build, and features inside of Joe's Garage were from Autel, BG Products, NAPA, Hunter Engineering, Bosch, Repairify Coats, and Solid Start, among others. Mark your calendar for AAPEX 2025, November 4th through the 6th in Las Vegas. Listen here to learn about exciting events planned for 2025 and when you can start registering. Let's face it, your shop management system is the single most important tool in your shop, period. NAPA Trax was built from the ground up to make your business more profitable and efficient. We provide an extensive set of tools to increase and track profitability in real time. NAPA Trax offers the industry's best post-sale support, hands down, and we train your people on site. Yep, on site. And we offer remote refresher training 10 times a week, and customer support is open 6 days a week. Give us a call, visit the website, or join our Facebook community today to learn more. We'll prove to you that Trax is the single best shop management system in the business. NAPA Trax is always customized and tailored for you, whether you're a one-man shop or a large multi-bay or multi-location company. After all, it's your shop, so it's your choice. Visit us on the web at NAPATRAX, that's NAPATRACS.com. Hey, did you know at AutomotiveManagementNetwork.com you can find an SOP, a checklist, forms, along with policies and procedures that can help you move your business ahead? Well, sometimes you just need a little motivation to write a policy. If only you had something to review and then make your own. You can save so much valuable time when you can grab a document from our library, make a few adjustments for your shop, and move to your next task. There are more than 350 searchable documents, with new documents arriving soon at AutomotiveManagementNetwork.com.
I spoke to Bill Hanvey, I spoke to Paul McCarthy, and so many others, including Eric Sills, including Dave Johnson, that we need to get a stronger message to our suppliers and our manufacturers of the power of the service professional and how hard they're working to become better business people, better leaders, more profitable, so we can pay the talent that we need to fix tomorrow's vehicles. And I got to tell you, John, I don't think, because of your ASE presence, you probably have a completely different feel and a perspective of the service professional. But I'm not sure everybody else upstairs has.
They don't, to your point. And I think that the key is if the service professional side, to your point, and I love the rise of the mechanics.
Yeah, and so this is what I'm driving to, John. I'm driving to every one of these. I says, would you let me speak to your membership? Let me give the Rise keynote to them. Mm-hmm. Let them think deeply about why this is important, but still learn about what's going on in the field and how hard the world is working to bring the level of professionalism to its highest.
That's got to be the next chapter.
Yeah.
Because the right to repair, we all know we're going after that within the industry to try to make it fair. And I was at the Care Breakfast. We're getting closer, all of that. But you got to bring up the image of the repair professional more so in the same time, Con, to bring them both together. And that can happen over the next 5-10 years with some good marketing. I think the other key on the continuing education standpoint as a manufacturer, and Eric does a great job with Ryan and the whole team, is given the ability so the service professional has the information at their fingertips through their phone to be able to make the estimate and look professional, because that's what they've got to do. It's no longer a book. It's no longer go here or open up a Mitchell manual. It's all going to be right there for you.
See, if I had the chance to get in front of all the manufacturers, now I know the suppliers understand and get my message. They're a little closer to the street. But from the manufacturer's level, all I want to do is say, like, 2 sentences. They're not installers. They don't do rugs. Whoa. They don't do rugs. So why am I calling them an installer? Because in my mind, rugs are installed by rug installers.
That's right.
And we repair and fix and keep the car into OE safe and reliable specs. We're service professional. We, as you've heard me speak my keynote at ASE, Hollywood doesn't help build the image of who we are. No, and we've got to fight.
That's right. There was you called out a show. I forgot the show, the name of it, but you were saying
the bear that I pulled all this from.
Yeah,
I pulled the whole. It was about the sandwich shop in Chicago. The whole impotence to the rise of the mechanical and technology specialist came from the fact that I watched this show, and in the first 20 minutes, Carm Berzato is dressed in his whites, and he comes into this unkept sandwich shop. Think of unkept car repair place. And he goes over to the guy at the bar, at the stove, and he says, "Hey, chef, would you cook the roast beef for tomorrow?" And the guy was never called chef before in his life. And he looked back at Carmi and he says, "Yes, chef, I will." And Carmi said, "Thank you, chef." I put the show on pause. I went and got my yellow pad and I wrote down, "Chef, what's our word?" Because I saw a level of stature and professionalism that we are. And this whole thing came to the declaration that I wrote. It took a couple of months. It was a year ago today that I came up with technology specialist, a year ago. And so I'm out giving keynotes. My paper, remarkableresults.biz/rise. You've probably heard me talk about this. I've done episodes on this. And thank you for bringing it up, because I guess I almost want to make the next chapter of my life, lifting the Carm. It's just words. No, it's semantics. It's what they mean, not only internally, but how the outside world looks at us. Let's say the words that develop a stronger level of meaning to the customer. Wow. The Euro shops say Mercedes specialists. Why aren't we talking about technology specialists?
The other part that you talked about was the specialist in different skill sets in the repair of a vehicle.
Yeah.
And how important that is as you go forward. Engine specialist.
Yeah. We've always had an alignment specialist in our whole life. Always.
That's right.
Always.
That's right.
So why is the next guy a mechanic? Why isn't he a mechanical specialist?
Or the A1, A2, master tech. I mean, how can you tie these back together again to be close?
Absolutely. So
I agree with you.
Thanks for bringing it up. This episode is not about the rise, but I really think there's a connection there because of the money and the time you're investing in ASE and scholarships, University of the Aftermarket, and that you're out there as a great representation of our company.
There's so much more you can do, though. And when you're in this role, Eric, myself, and such, we have to be the ones that are a bit of the prophets of where we can go, because people will listen. And that's a responsibility that we take on when we take this role. And so I'm going to work harder on the specialist versus the installer language.
Hey, let me talk to your team.
And then
I'll do a virtual call with your team.
That would be great, Carm. I'll take you up on that with the team, because they will listen to you and they'll go, that makes sense. When I think about the next steps going forward, the training that we have out there, or continuing education, which is a better term to your point, needs to continue, but we have to take a look at how we elevate it so that it becomes a business, not a shop.
Yeah.
And then if you do that and people look at it as a business, then they'll invest in it and then go forward with it. But a business has ups and downs and all of those, and those skills that we have to be able to provide them to continue it.
A lot of it's about pride, but every day is not a joyous day in life or at work or anything. And I think we have to learn to tough through it, but constantly learn something new each and every day and grow ourselves and our business and our people. And I think a part of what I'm trying to, an overarching kind of, if you will, a strategy behind the rise, these word changes, is to find and get some pride in our industry, feel good about it. Tracy did a video on an EV battery at the NAPA EV Ready Training Center in Canton, Ohio. We've shown it to some people we know that aren't in the industry, and they go, "That's what a EV battery looks like?"
No, really.
People don't know.
No, they think it's a car battery.
We just did this great
It's 3,500 pounds.
Yeah, we did this mini video reel with Bosch. We were talking about ADAS, and we were talking about the mistakes that are being made in pulling a front bumper or replacing glass, and there isn't a calibration or recalibration done. Mm-hmm. Consumer doesn't know this. I'm not sure we're even willing to put it on the ticket that says we have to do this. There's this technology knowing doing gap going on out there. And I'm so glad that there's guys like me and all the other podcasters in the industry and people that come here to Joe's Garage and AAPEX that are out preaching this stuff. We have to change.
The channel that you have, that we have as a partner with you, as a manufacturer, Eric, myself, others, Dan, Bill, and all the rest of these.
All of them.
We should leverage to work with you together on not only the change in how we look at the specialist, but then the continuing education piece, because all of us work on training.
Yeah.
By training, I mean specific repairs. Those 46 videos that I've got there is how to do a certain job, and there's a QR code and a package and all of that. If we're going to go to that extent to make sure the specialist understands it, Carl, then it's our responsibility to continue to change the language of them and then talk about, all right, when you get into the bigger world of the business ownership, how do we help you get there?
Yeah.
Because I'm thinking if I focus so much on how do we make sure the repair's done, because the repair's very complicated in my world. It's a 4 to 13-hour job. I remember as a shop owner, my pay can't go down for the next day for a rerun.
Right.
I can't do that.
No.
And yes, I'll help them on labor claim if they turn in. The fact is, you don't want to go down.
No.
So that's the part of the education per job, that's training. But what could we do to say, let's connect the dots and say this is all part of a bigger picture around business ownership?
I'm flipping through my notes, and I need to find a stat that I had written down. Here it is, with Dave Johnson. Mm-hmm. And he gave a little bit of a speech at the NASDAQ meeting. The benefits of certification: 40% better productivity, 60% fewer comebacks, 30% lower attrition. And that's just ASE. And if you have the portal that says, here, we're Cloyes, here's all our brethren, please come to our continuing education portal.
That's right.
And if we say that to the world, and they don't think, it's just, boss wants me to go to training. And if we say it's continuing education, we can change the paradigm inside to let them realize, by the way, after this one, probably going to be another, and then another. And I'm going to try to amount 40 hours this year of continuing education, because guess what? In 2 years, I got to take that course over again because stuff changed.
And it's about a plan. It's a journey. You talked about this earlier in continuing education versus training. Training's a destination. Continuing education is a journey.
Yeah.
And can we continue to do it?
Absolutely. Continuing education is a journey. Everyone who's listening, if you're driving, don't write this down. But if you're listening from your desk, write it down. Go talk to your people about it, or change your commitment to training for your people, because every day you're losing some capabilities of repairing a vehicle in a time frame that makes you money. Not rushing, but it's the do right rule. We got to do it right. But some do it right and take 5 hours, some do it right and take 3.
Knowledge is a very powerful tool.
Yeah.
It really is. So
one of the things we talked about a while back, and I just would just give me 2 minutes. Supply chain getting tighter, smarter, better.
Yep, it is. You've got a little bit of I think because of what happened on the East Coast strike and it was delayed and now it's in January, there's some bumps still coming after the first of the year.
Okay.
As we sort this out, the Chinese New Year is earlier, Carl, this year than last. So the first quarter will be a little bumpy, and then maybe a tariff increase as well because of the elections. But I think it'll sort itself out once we get past the date of the negotiations on the East Coast. The West Coast, Vancouver just went on strike. That'll get settled down. So these little speed bumps, I'll call them, Carm, will sort themselves out after the first quarter, maybe in the second quarter. I do still do air shipments to make sure I can keep my commitments on my fill rates to my distributor customers, who then have the capability to take care of their customers, which is the end technician installer, if you will. I'm still working on it. Give me credit.
I'm only going to count the number of times you said installer, and I'll tell you at the end.
Tracy's counting. But anyway, back to supply chain. I'm trying, Tracy. I'm really
That's
trying.
like when you're in Toastmasters and you count the ums and the uhs.
That's right. That's right. But I think it'll settle down in the first and second quarter. But I'm telling you right now, it's not going to change for a long time. It'll never get back to where it was, because you've got too much growth happening in the economies. And as the growth comes in, you're going to have more containers, where they go and how they get handled. The other part is the automation piece of it. The West Coast is more automated. LA has a fantastic port from an automation standpoint. The East Coast is behind it. So you've got that whole productivity enhancement that has been done over in the Far East, but not done in North. And we have to catch up. And that'll help the productivity. You're talking 40 containers a day are being received, like in Singapore. We're like 30, 32 here in the U.S. And so, Carm, there's a whole productivity thing we've got to get to the point as a country. Now, there's a focus on it. We always focus on something when it's broken, not necessarily ahead of time. And so what we've gone here is we've got to get back. So when you look at our ports, we are behind some of the more automated ones in the Singapore port, for example. They're at 40 containers per day. We're at like 32, 30. And we need to be able to get to the efficiency, because number two, just catching up isn't good enough, because it continues to grow 40 to 100 containers more a year as all the economies begin to pick up. Ours will pick up pretty significantly in the next 12 months. So it'll settle down if it stayed constant, but you got the growth at the same time.
The whole strike was about trying not to be more productive, right? They don't want to automate.
Piece, yeah.
They don't want to automate. Every time I hear something like that, you know what I think about?
Mm-hmm.
I think about the New York State tolls. Okay, Carm, how are you going to connect that?
I'm looking at you like, what?
Yeah, what? We had to stop. We had to give a ticket to a toll taker.
Versus electronic.
Yeah, one day they said we're going to do an easy pass, but there's an easy pass lane and then all the other toll takers. Mm-hmm. Now, it took about 8 or 9 years to make it only E everywhere we go. But to me, that's an agreement that someone has to say, look, we got retirements and all this stuff working out. We've got to become more efficient. We respect the labor force, but we've got to figure out how to work it out.
It's a process, as all this is in dealing with the labor situations, because they're concerned. They're scared because of jobs, right?
Yeah.
So if you look at it, they're totally automated in the Far East, and they're down to maybe 1 person, 2 person per port. In the case of, for instance, in LA, there's 1 person per crane. Versus 3 or 4.
Okay.
So it's a transition from how we are on the East Coast to the West Coast, and then we get there much faster.
Yeah.
But you have to keep the labor team in place, because it's unionized. You have to be able to make it work with them.
I'm not anti-union or anything, but
no, I'm not either. But I'm
getting to where we got to get. There's always a solution at hand, and sometimes you got to have some really good but tough negotiations, and it may not be in the next 5-year contract, but maybe it's got to.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe a transition is 8, 9, 10 years.
But if the union knows where we're going and we can all agree to it, then you can get a good CBA. Arkansas, my state there.
Okay.
And they know where we're going to go within our DCs, and we all stay on the same page. And all cards are face up in the organization. They know and we know.
So let's try to wrap this up, John. The manufacturer, you and all the other great companies that supply this great industry of ours, make a recommendation to all the manufacturers out there on how they can become more intimate with our service professional, with the people, the mechanical and technology specialists. How do they want to buy Cloyes? How do they respect what you guys do? And I know that's a big leap going over the suppliers and all the way down the line, but is there a little piece of magic here?
I think the key would be, again, back to the question you opened with on how do you find time to get here and do what I do. Bring on people that are ASC certified, that understand the repair at the other end, what the end user is going to go through. If you keep that in mind, what the end user is going to go through, not necessarily the distributor, who's going to install the part, who's the technician at the end. Then if you've got them in your product planning piece and in your necessary and part of your customer support, so they know how to handle the questions that come in or the labor claims, there's a nice transition there to being able to really understand, especially the product development piece. When they bring a new product to me and say, all right, how's the installation going to look like? How are you going to get this on the video? How's that going to work? And with that in mind, before you launch it, there's 21,000 shop masters. It's a community we built within Cloyes. They get our NPIs and they get our newest videos before anyone else. They sign up, no cost. And I want to make sure the technician has the latest education to be able to make and they can trust us for that.
Shop masters, how do they get that?
It's just go to Cloyes.com.
Find shop masters.
Find shop masters.
Do you use any of them as ambassadors to pick their brains?
There's a shop masters council. There's 6 of them on there.
Perfect.
And 2 of them are on the ASC board with me as well. And then I'll rotate them. They'll rotate out, read twice a year. We go through marketing plans. We go through NPIs. We go through warranty issues. And they sign NDAs so that we know we got to keep everything quiet.
Right.
And I've known some of them I've known for years. And from my history working with AutoCare or TechNet or in the industry.
I didn't know you worked at Ford. Did you work with Dave?
Dave was at Ford. He was over all the repair service centers. And I was actually I was the global CEO of Quick Lane Tire and all the centers and the global aftermarket guy. Yeah. And so I did a lot of travel overseas and Dave did as well. And so we connected and then I began to talk to him about ASC for the technician shortage in the dealer's bays. And he goes, this makes sense. And next thing you know, he retired and now he's the CEO of ASC.
Yeah.
That's how we work together. And he's a fantastic partner, and I love working with him.
Yeah, I do too. We did a great episode. Please look up all the episodes we've done here at AAPEX and look for the Dave Johnson when he was with Scott Brown and Matt Fonslow. I don't want to say it was a hoot, because that means it was all fun, and it was very profound, very serious. We got into the FAA stuff. Mm-hmm. I mean, it was accreditations, certifications, changing the names, the growth he wants to see with ASE, and so exciting. I see you're looking at your notes. What did we miss?
Wrenchway is a new partnership. Did Dave talk about ASE and Wrenchway?
No.
They just partnered strategically because he brought it to the board.
Yeah, I saw that.
And that's all about there's about 1,300 installation professionals that are part of Wrenchway. And he's connecting them with the ASE Foundation and the continuing education through the schools.
Yeah, saw that.
And trying to pull that together. And the board, we all talked about this when Dave brought it to us. It was like, let's start there and see how we can bring it together for both wins. And that's about continuing versus just stopping.
Great relationship. Good connection there. I like that.
Yeah, I wanted to kind of pull it together. I thought that would be helpful.
Thank you. What else?
Thanks for having me on.
Wow, thank you.
It was great to be with you.
Wow, John Hanighen, CEO, President, Cloyes. I just love when you come on, man.
I love being here with you guys.
Thanks, man.
Appreciate it. Anytime.
Thanks for being on board to listen and learn from the premier automotive aftermarket podcast. Until next time.